Hey everyone, it's Mika. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my South Park Commons Founder Fellowship video. Part 1, I talk about an overview of the South Park Commons Founder Fellowship Program, our story, the application process, and who the program is not a good fit for. If you haven't yet watched that video, find a link in the description below or on this video. Part 2 is going to talk about how the South Park Commons Founder Fellowship Program is different from other accelerators or fellowships, such as YCombinator, and how the fellowship program has panned out for some folks on our cohort. Let's get to it. Natural question and comparison that we get is, how is this different, especially from YCombinator? Number 1 is intentionality around validating your startup idea. South Park Commons is meant for founders who want to take their idea from -1 to 0. And the number 1 lesson going through this fellowship is that takes a lot of time. The $400,000 is meant to make sure you have enough runway to intentionally think about your idea, however long that takes. And ideas in consumer versus enterprise or fintech versus social media just take longer to validate. And the ethos is that the forcing function of a demo day is not going to be great for every type of founder or every type of startup. Intentionality is important, especially at this -1 stage. Second, there's a belief that some ideas are just better than others, as opposed to taking any idea and running fast. Some ideas are going to be faster, some ideas are going to be more suited for you as a founder. Some ideas are just in better markets than others. Typically, the fellowship will filter for people who are natural builders. So product managers, designers, engineers, and other operators. What they say is that they'll pair the natural tendency for us as builders to think bottoms up, problem to solution, with their expertise as serial entrepreneurs and investors in thinking about markets and strategy and thinking tops down. And the best ideas come from that pairing of tops down and bottoms up thinking. Lastly, the intimacy and vulnerability with the founder fellows and even with the investors and advisors that we work with has been such a great experience. Every week we have sessions called workshops. Founders and companies can ask whatever of the rest of the cohort, whether that's something related to the company or anything personal. And there are sessions where friends talked about their breakups, challenges finding users, their challenges dealing with health issues. It's been such an open and vulnerable and intimate space that you feel extremely comfortable talking about these things. It's like group therapy for founders. And the spectacular thing is, our advisors are there too. They're the ones who make it such a safe space to talk about these things. They acknowledge that going through this founder journey is extremely challenging and comes with a lot of emotional turmoil. They are in it with you. And as a first-time founder, I think that's been such a positive experience with my investors. Did the inaugural cohort work? Hard to say, because it's going to take a couple more years to see if any billion-dollar businesses come out of our class. Let me tell you that the first program was supposed to be an experiment, and the reason why there's a second cohort is because apparently there are signals that the experiment went well. And I feel that too because the founders in our class are just such amazing people and such high quality that I'm so excited for the next class and the next class and the next class. How has it helped Amy and myself, for example?
What a great question. I think the biggest thing is the people in the community, not just the peers, but also our mentors are all incredibly sharp, incredibly experienced people. I think it's super rare to come across a community of people who are all ostensibly working toward the same goal and yet completely collaborative. There is no sense of competition at all within the cohort. There wasn't much of a sense that like, oh, these are our investors, therefore we must appear very polished in front of them, because they were prepared to walk us through all the ups and downs and really be our advocates and be our mentors as we went through the entire process. It's a really unique community, I think, that's both our biggest champions, but also some of our biggest critics, and not afraid to push back on our thinking when they think that we're wrong or we're missing something. As young first-time founders, it's incredibly valuable to have such a great group of peers and mentors to learn from.
One team explored 3 completely different markets, and said, hey, we thought about this market, don't think it's great, reject. Hey, we thought about this market and thought about a product within this market, but don't think it's going to work out, reject. Thought about this market, thought about this product. Now it's taking off. Another team came in with an idea and some slight conviction around it, but needed more confidence and stronger conviction to build it out, and is now about to raise the first round, which is really, really exciting. Another team that came in with an idea and a product fleshed out, and then tried to raise funding, but was having a really tough time doing it, decided to take a step back, reflect, and made the brave decision to completely pivot from this current idea, find something that fit them better, which I thought was extremely courageous and honest. Overall, I highly, highly recommend the South Park Commons Founder Fellowship and look forward to seeing you in the next cohort. Good luck. Bye. Access to an amazing suite of advisors who were previous validate the markets that you're running in, and so you can this is so hard.